John, can you give us your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought really good effort. The conditions were always going to be trying, but I thought our game stood up pretty well, even in those conditions, in that style of footy.
Looked like inaccuracy in front of goal could have been costly for a while. Was that a concern for you going three-quarter time?
Not so much. Well, yes, the inaccuracy at goal. You look at why. A lot of shots from a point, another long shot with basically a 16-on-16 forward line. So hard to get easy shots at goal when you're in that game, but they do come eventually. So we've had a few games like that this year where we're getting a lot of shots at goal a long way out because teams have got all their numbers back in there. And tonight with the conditions just made it that little bit harder. But in saying that, we also probably missed 4 or 5 that weren't really under that sort of pressure and intensity, and we've got to take those, absolutely.
How significant was Scott Selwood's job on that today?
Significant. Yeah, I thought he played well. Wasn't set for a tight tag. He wasn't going to come on and off with Judd. We had other areas of our game that we had a stronger focus on, but obviously around stoppages, our stoppage focus was certainly aware that Judd is one of the best clearance players in the competition. So,
and Scott's ability to not only keep Judd in 12 possessions but also rack it up himself.
Yeah, no, he played a good hard running game. He's had a good year to date. He's grown again as a footballer this year, and he's still a young player. Got an emergency? Evacuate, was that what they said? We're going to go.
Yeah. Do you have some injury concerns ahead of next week? Schofield looked like he pinged a hammy.
Yeah.
And Shuey looked really sore.
Yeah, really just, I think Shuey's was a stinger. I don't know what they are, but that's what I hear people talk about. So he'll be fine, and Schofield will, I would expect, miss the next game at least with a hamstring. But everyone else is good.
Did you get any early prognosis with Will on how serious it was? It looked to pull up pretty short.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So I think there's not too much doubt that he's strained his hamstring. It's a matter of what extent. So scans give you some idea, but then clinically depends on what he can do. By the Monday or Wednesday post the Collingwood game, we'll see where he's at.
The late change with Butler going out, is there any issue there?
Yeah, Butler's hamstring just tightened up at training on Monday. I'm trying to work out what day we're on, but and then on Wednesday he got through training. Felt as though he could probably play, but it was the same hamstring that was tight after the Fremantle game, and because it got tight within that game, he felt as though it would tighten up or it would get sore during the game, and he didn't really know how long he would be able to play for, so no risk.
Where do you think you fell away in the first quarter, John, and what was your message to the players at the third quarter?
The message really was that I thought Carlton's intensity was over and above ours in that third quarter. So they got the game on their terms. They won more of the footy. They got it inside 50 more. Basically did what we'd been doing. So the challenge for the players was the game's up for grabs at three-quarter time. It's going to be the team that wants to play with the higher intensity over the next 30 minutes that will give themselves a chance of winning.
Just a word on Nick's all-round game tonight. What did you make
It was I thought outstanding contribution to the team's performance in the ruck and forward, and even as that extra mid around the ball rather than just a ruckman.
When he was running for that goal and the goal, showed a bit of emotion there in the box. What were your
Yeah,
thoughts?
no, it was one of those misses we should have kicked. Yeah.
Did you think you had it there, Nick? What was the feeling like?
I think I was still complaining to the umpire about being blocked in the CBD, so it took me by surprise, but as Woods said, we did miss a few of them, and that was one of them.
How pleasing is it just to get the win tonight and hold off Carlton's fight back and get back top of that?
Yeah, really pleasing. As Woods touched on, intensity was down a bit in that third quarter, and just to see that fight back in that last quarter by most of the boys, guys like Patrick McKinney and Scott Selwood stepping up at the end, really drives that intensity from everyone else, and it's good to get away with the win at the end.
Wet and slippery conditions shouldn't suit a ruckman, but you seem to like it quite a bit. Is that?
Yeah, it kind of evens it out a bit for myself. You know, with those conditions, I don't mind it in the wet. You know, you can follow up and get down there at ground level a bit quicker with the wet conditions. So no, I don't mind it when it rains.
John, how significant is the match against Collingwood next week?
Well, yeah, you know my answer, Duff. It's one of 22. They're all important. They all play a part in where you are at the end of the home and away season. So.
But one day you can use it.
No, it's what I believe. So I'll stick with that. But it's Collingwood are obviously still one of the top sides going around. So a challenge that we look forward to matching up against them.
Do you use a game like that though to measure where you're at? To see if there's something in your game you change perhaps?
Yeah, every week you measure where you're at. Every week a team comes to challenge what you want to do. But if you're playing a top of the table clash is different to top team versus say bottom team, you still get challenged. But there usually is a bigger margin in terms of potentially the talent of the teams at that given time. So getting to this point of the year and playing against a very good team that's now playing very good footy after a slow build-up is something we look forward to.
What about the confidence you could gain by playing the scalp like that over there?
Well, we're pretty confident with what we're doing. No, we don't necessarily think we need a win like that to say we're going to get confidence. But the one thing I can guarantee you is it's a game that we'll learn from. Learn through a win or learn through a close game, whatever it may be. Playing against the best teams is where we all can get better. Playing on the best individuals or against the best team is an opportunity to improve and grow.
Given that you kicked 3-14, I think between the first quarter and three-quarter time, and Jack Darling was able to take those two opportunities to preserve themselves, to him, how significant is that for a young forward at a big moment in a big game?
Oh, yeah, he's done it a couple of times. I think he did it against Hawthorn too in similar conditions, slippery, not as wet. Kicked 2 last quarter goals in that game when we only kicked 5 for the game. So, he's an outstanding young player with improvement to come. Just for us, as much excitement out of his run-down tackle in that third quarter. Noah lining up to have another shot at goal, and he came from the half-forward line to lay a big tackle and turn the ball over for us.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
He's voted the best point.